I think it's super wild how I am is one of the most misused affirmations in probably our collective conscious. And I want to give you a different understanding of how to utilize it, at least better in your own life. Now, I know that there's so much emotional trauma and pain and suffering going on right now. I don't want you to abandon that. And there's going to be a lot of opportunities, especially under capitalism, to sell you solutions to escape this pain and negativity that you feel. But as a means of being able to acknowledge it and to still live through that reality while becoming somebody in alignment to who you really are, it's all about your perception of what you're experiencing and how you allow that to be attached to your character. How does this connect to I am? Think about, in a very simple sense, think about depression. Mind you, I have very interesting perspectives about identity politics and assuming identities, but this one is specifically how it applies to perceiving your depression and how you may be affirming it into your reality longer than it needs to exist there as a means of finding comfort in the identity of depression rather than actually taking responsibility to find a means of regulating your emotions or at least inspiring yourself beyond the limitations of said depression. Now, I'm not telling you to get off medication if that's what you're on. If it's working, continue to stay there, but also give yourself an opportunity to utilize these natural holistic habits, meditation, journaling, reading, healing, shadow work even, to put your own foot in your healing journey as well. Think about how people speak on the depression that they have. I am depressed, or I have depression. Because all of these emotional energies they're not static. We feel them in like rhythms. They come and go. So in knowing that you are not depressed, that would mean that that is a static set identity. But another way to perceive it is I experience or have been experiencing depression. Now, that acknowledges the fact that you experience these emotions, but it doesn't tie the emotion to your identity, forcing you, or at least subconsciously pushing you into a space where you derive identity and validation out of staying there. I experience depression. Now, how are you going to use I am to take steps out of that? I experience or have experienced depression, but I am taking steps towards healing. I am taking steps towards happiness. I am changing my circumstances. I am insert positive affirmation there. This is why I say I am is so important. Because now, instead of you being your depression, and now the depression being a part of your identity and probably a domineering part of your identity, look how quickly your depression is now something that you're experiencing that allows you a different opportunity to understand yourself and your emotional capacity on a lower sense. Because one thing I also believe that capitalism doesn't want us to appreciate is that this thing we call depression, from a capitalistic lens, it's like people avoiding work because they're lazy or brittle. But in a spiritual sense, it's your body and your soul telling you need to rest so you can focus on caring for your internal universe before you can continue to put yourself out into a society that's exploiting you for the value that you give naturally from within. But that's another video for another day. Let's keep staying on the I am topic. I want you, when going through negativity, to say I experience, because that means you can limit the time that you're experiencing that. Or just fundamentally, it means that you aren't enslaved to this. It means that it's something that you go through, something that you can prepare for to come for in the future, something that you have gone through in the past, and something that you actively experience now. But it is not your identity. It is an energetic stagnation, maybe a cloud that is existing over your consciousness. And you, the physical being, have to be able to take the steps to make the habits, to create the routines to be able to not escape that, because you can escape that through drugs, through sex, through lower like animalistic behaviors. You have to take responsibility for the positive affirmations. You have to take responsibility for the routines, the habits, the things that I'm describing here, the reminding yourself, hey, instead of waiting for happiness, maybe it's time I start choosing happiness and then allowing that happiness to follow the decisions and the choices that I'm making, rather than waiting for the happiness to come save me out of this depression. Because I might be waiting forever and then become a reflection of the depression that I have been saying that I am, and now I need medications for, because I can't escape it. It is now my identity. And a final point here. Depression is also connected a lot to people being just mad poor and not being able to take care of their basic needs. People not being able to like just go home from work and like not stress, people not having healthy relationships and access to community, people not having a healthy sense of like support and true family structures that go beyond their bloodline and who owns them. It's a lot more than what I'm just describing here. So understand, I'm not trying to say, oh, you're depressed, do this. What I'm trying to say is your depression is an opportunity to understand yourself at different levels than one that society will ever validate you at. As long as you don't get lost by being enslaved to the identity of depression, you can see the depth of your soul at such a ridiculously unique level. And if you're an artist, you can definitely turn that shit into gold, bro. But look at those emotions, especially the ones society rejects, as an opportunity to see you in a different light and to appreciate yourself in a different light. And if that creates value, if you even bring value to yourself, allow that to do the steps towards sharing that value to the world. And I guarantee you, you're going to see that there's nothing you can't conquer in this life, bro. You're built for this shit, bro. That's why the fuck you got born into that body. Let's fucking get into it, man. Come on.